Okay, so I think it's becoming a rule that first thing I see every morning when I wake up pisses me off. And today's not going to be an exception. Because first thing I saw on Facebook was bullshit. Have y'all heard about this Mayor Tim Duckhead asshole? Okay, so the good news is he's resigned since this happened. The bad news is he never should have been a mayor. He never. Look what he said. Hold on, I'll read it to you. If it comes up. Okay. Turn my face off. This is Mr. Tim Boyd, who used to be the mayor of Colorado City, Texas. Used to be. He has resigned. For good reason. He wants to hurt some feelings while he has a minute. No one owes you or your family anything, nor is it the local government's responsibility to support you during trying times like this. Sink or swim, it's your choice. The city and county, along with power providers or any other service, owes you nothing. I'm sick and tired of people looking for a damn handout. If you don't have electricity, you step up and come up with a game plan to keep your family warm and safe. If you have no water, you deal with without and think outside the box to survive and supply water to your family. If you are sitting at home in the cold because you have no power and you are sitting there waiting for someone to rescue you because you're lazy, is a direct result of your raising. Only the strong will survive and the weak will perish. Folks, God has given us the tools to support ourselves in times like this. This is sadly a product of a socialist government where they feed people to believe that the few will work and the others will become dependent on handouts. Am I sorry that you have been dealing without electricity and water? Yes. But I'll be damned if I'm going to provide for anyone that is capable of doing it themselves. We have lost sight of those in need and those that take advantage of the system and mesh them into one group. Bottom line, quit crying and looking for a handout. Get off your ass and take care of your own family. Bottom line, don't be a part of the problem, be a part of the solution. Right? Right? Thanks, Mayor. We got no power. We got no water. We're freezing to death. Encouraging, comforting words from the mayor. Oh God, we're all fucked, aren't we? Okay, so here's a couple of things that this mayor doesn't seem to understand. You can't just go take things. Like, he says, you have no electricity? Fix it. Okay. How? How are you? Okay, so I'm going to bring this to another news story I saw recently, right? Here in Los Angeles, the homeless are breaking into power boxes outside like the lights, and they're rerouting the energy so that they can have electricity in their tents. And they take the water from fire hydrants. They pop open fire hydrants and they get clean water. So here in Los Angeles, the police are angry because the homeless have figured out how to take what they need. And in Colorado, the mayor is angry because people haven't figured out how to take what they need. Really? Is that really what we're living in? I mean, we're not living in a society where we're supposed to have to fend for ourselves. That's the point of a society. Anyway, I'll show y'all what happened with this man since that. But also, there's a lot of things that you cannot legally just go get, you know? Like, I talk about growing weed, but legally I can only grow a certain amount of it. Legally, I can only grow certain foods. Legally, I can only have certain pets. You know, so if you want like to have a goat for milk or cows for or chickens, if you're not living in a specific place, you can't have those animals. You can't grow those vegetables. You can't even, in Florida for years, and I don't know if this is still a thing, it was illegal to capture rainwater. You can't. Like, if the police were to have caught my grandmother with that big bucket of rainwater that she saved for my hair, she could have been arrested. Because in some places, it's illegal to capture rainwater. It's illegal to grow your own food. It's illegal to have kind of pets that you would need for agriculture. It's illegal because the government wants us dependent on them. Something else that's illegal. You're not allowed to carry money. Like legally, you're not allowed to have more than $10,000 on you, right? So if you have money, you have to use a bank. You have to be dependent on a government, on the banks, for the safety of your money, because legally you're not allowed to have it. And I found that out the hard way because when I was in Florida. This was back when I was working. Riding with my boyfriend, I had my rent money in my pocket. It was $550. I still remember. I'm amazed. $550 for a 2-bedroom apartment. But a cop pulled us over. And he checked our IDs and everything, right? He asked if we had any money. And I said, yes, I have my rent money on me. Why? And he kind of smiled and he said, well, if you have more than $10,000, I can legally confiscate it as drug money. And, well, I was already crying by that point, but he said, at first he said, if you have a lot of money, I might take it from you. And I started crying, and I said, well, what's a lot of money? Because I have $500 on me right now. And that's when he laughed at me and said, $10,000. If you have over $10,000, I can take it from you. But I thought $500 was a lot of money. That was my entire rent. That was like 2 weeks working. That was a lot of money to me. And this cop he was willing. You know, he was excited, thinking he had caught a drug dealer and he was going to take my money. And he legally could have. Because that's how it works. In America, it's not easy to just fend for yourself. Because say I had a job and I had money, I couldn't just have it on me because the police could take it from me. And if I had it in the bank, well, then people know what I've got. And then the government's going to come after me for it. Because you can't live here for free. Right? There's taxes. Even if you don't have money, there's taxes. You know? It's so frustrating. I'm so glad the man quit. Anyways, moving on. Texas mayor resigns after telling residents he owed them nothing. The mayor of a Texas town who told residents he owed them nothing as winter storms left millions across the state without power in single-digit temperatures has resigned. No one owes you or your family anything, Tim Boyd, previously mayor of Colorado City, wrote Tuesday. I'm sick and tired of people looking for a damn handout. He has since deleted the post. In a second post, Mr. Boyd said, I won't deny for 1 minute anything he said in the previous post, but complained that his wife had faced harassment, while adding that he had resigned from his position. Mr. Boyd said he made the comments as a private citizen, and that he had resigned his position days earlier. He is still listed as mayor on the city's website, and the city council agendas cite him as mayor recently as last week. The former mayor said his wife was fired from her job due to his statement, and complained that his family was subject to undeserved harassment and death threats. Gee, his wife lost her job? So, you mean she's gonna have to fend for herself now? The Facebook screed was shared widely on social media and was reported by numerous news outlets. In his initial post, Mr. Boyd said people waiting in their homes to have their power restored were lazy, and said that the strong will survive and the weak will perish. But residents in the region weren't anything but lazy. Residents have banded together to help support each other by walking through the snow to deliver supplies. Others had opened up their private wells to provide water for those who lost service. Mr. Boyd tirade towards people he thinks are too lazy to get up and fend for themselves blamed the socialist government. It was not immediately clear which government Mr. Boyd was referring to, since he had the local government and Republicans under Donald Trump run the country for the last 4 years. Texas's inability to provide uninterrupted utility service to millions of residents, partly due to the state's decision to operate its own power grid in an effort to avoid federal regulations. By Tuesday, at least 10 people had died from the winter storms in the state. Another winter storm is expected to hit the region on Wednesday. That's today. I think that's it for that news article. Okay. So, okay. It's a lot to unpack. There's a lot. There's a lot. It's a lot of bullshit. And it genuinely, it feels like one of my haters here on YouTube somehow got a hold of the mayor's Twitter and sent out a hate message to the world. You know, and it's hilarious that he's now upset that, like, his wife has lost her job when he's telling people that they don't need jobs. They need to fend for themselves. Create your own electricity. Scavenge your own water. Kill your neighbors for their food. It's, you know, like, Jesus. Y'all they set them up to fail with the freaking power grid the way they have it, and now they're like, oh, yeah, you're kind of fucked. Yeah, you seen what your neighbors have? They're not far away. I'm so happy that that man doesn't have a job. I'm so happy that his wife doesn't have a job. I sincerely hope that they find out exactly how hard it is to fend for yourself very quickly. Because, you know, he might have forgotten that he was working for a government paycheck. He was literally his job, the money he earned came from the people that he was calling weak and lazy. They don't get it. They will never get it.